Hi, I'm Jeffrey with Basecamp Custom Vans. Thanks for checking this out. I'm doing a walkthrough video of this Ford Transit camper van that's for sale. And we'll jump inside and talk about the whole build that we did. But the van itself is a 2023 Ford Transit 250. It's an all-wheel drive model, which makes it unstoppable. We're here in Colorado and, year-round this thing can go anywhere. It's a high roof model with a V6 engine that's got about 28,000 miles on it. Yeah, so I've been building vans full-time for the last 8 years, but I've been traveling in them for 15, and I've got about 400,000 miles on my van life odometer. So folks bring me their own vans to customize, and we'll build them out all kinds of different ways. But I have to have one as well, of course. And what was fun about this is I get to do everything exactly how I wanted it. So we've got 300 watts of solar on the roof. That roof fan in the front is controlling all the airflow. This is a queen size bed that has bunks on both sides, bunk windows that have screens, so either one or both can be open for airflow. And you sleep sideways, so it's 60 across by 74. And there's also in the sliding door, there's the glass window in the sliding door has a top slider that opens to vent, so the fan will blow in or exhaust out. So however you need the air flowing, it's all worked out. As well as there's a gyroscopic fan that'll point down at the bed or down through the van. The 300 watts of solar are powering this 300 amp hour lithium Renogy. This is a self-heating lithium battery that's safe to use throughout the year. 3,000 watt inverter on the top there is inverting anything that's not DC. We have outlets up front to plug in to use 110 outlets. And then there's a solar controller, and that's a DC charger that's charging the battery while the van's running. So it's pretty much on infinity mode. It's just infinite and keeps powering indefinitely pretty much, and then it stows away. So on this other one, 20 gallons of water. That's a Propex HS 2800 heater. And yeah, these cabinets close off. There's big cubbies in them in both sides. And then this bed's not fixed platform though. These panels come out. There's 4 panels that are spanning to each cabinet. So it's very versatile, where you can take maybe you're not doing something where you don't need a bed. You can take the mattress out, throw it in the garage, and those 4 panels move out easy. And then you have a full walkthrough. Maybe put big boats like paddle boards or canoe in there and stuff, or maybe sheets of plywood if you need it. Or the van's very versatile in that way. There's this top slider window that I was mentioning. Yeah, jump inside. Get the driver and passenger seat swiveled around. They allow this front area to become part of the whole van and really expands the seating. The table can be here for the driver and passenger, and on this bench we have it swings over here as well. Sit here on the laptop, right? Look at the view. So what's your view going to look like? I'm curious. I want you to think about this as you go. Where are you taking this? What's it going to look like when you're sitting on this bench? And let's picture all the places you'll go, right? So give a sense of the layout here. Yeah. It's fun. This has been my favorite one. I've owned a whole bunch of vans. I've built a whole bunch of them for people, and we've tried all the configurations. I really like to keep the open space as open as possible. A bench over here really allows for that. And not only you can just sit and enjoy out there, it's just there's room to sort of sit down and spread out, A lot of camper vans will do the galley under the driver's side and maybe a small bench on this side, or maybe no bench, and you just rely on these seats. And it's not the same. It's kind of nice to have, you want to sit in these different places at different times for different reasons. And maybe you want to have a few people over, right? It's like a lot of vans, they can get overbuilt and there's just a hallway down the middle. There's nowhere to be, right? So that was, This has evolved over time. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of nights in vans traveling through. I've gone up and down the coasts, both coasts. I've been into the mountains, the Pacific Northwest, been down through the Southwest deserts and into the hot, humid South. And I try to develop these so that they can kind of go to any of those places, any of the stuff that might come up, and enjoy the space along the way. The doors are open right now, so by at night we'll be, the doors are shut up, the doors are closed, or if it's bad weather, the doors are closed, maybe for days. And you want to feel comfortable and happy to be in here. It's spacious, it's bright and cheery, and there's plenty of room for everything. It's also very durable and easy to clean. So what we found along the way, my first van I wasn't building them at first to customize them. I just wanted one. The first one I had for 3 years. I built it out myself, and after about 2 years, a bunch of things started failing, and I started learning the hard way about how building materials can withstand what we're doing in these. And most stuff for homes just don't stand up. The cabinets are a lot heavier, and they're also a lot more they're not built to they don't build them to be knocked and bumped, and they're not necessarily easy to clean. Everything, the building materials have really evolved. They have to be durable and easy to clean. That's what it comes down to for me. The flooring, we had several floors where it hasn't always been worked out like this. This marine vinyl flooring is amazing. It's rated for 30 years of UV exposure, to the elements of the ocean. So nothing's gonna, it cleans up real easy. So, the first floor I had, we used vinyl plank flooring, and the interlocking seams, 2 years down the road, split, and because of the hot and cold expansion. So then you had that to deal with. I did cabinets where a door broke, the laminate door broke, and it couldn't get the same one anymore. There's just you can't compare to custom building. So all the materials, this is maple that's been laminated, so the laminate cleans up real easy. And it's all maple, so this is just stained, and it's the same maple but stained and treated. And where we needed to finish the edges, there's a rubber edge banding, super durable jacquard. This blue jacquard's really cool, but I like it more than the tweed that you often see. This is just as wear resistant to the tweed. The butcher block cabinets, butcher block countertops, like I said, aluminum wherever it's needed. Very durable, very easy to clean. Very functional too. So, this is a standard length fan. So the extended model is 4 feet longer, or a Sprinter 170. They're both like that. There's a 4 foot longer version of these from Ford and Mercedes. This is the standard 19 foot. So you start, we have to pick and choose what comforts we're using in here, how we're going to use the space. So, in a bigger one, you might put in a big closet or a big shower, right? Everyone wants to have a shower, but the problem is that you put one in here, just look in a Winnebago Revel. It just dominates the whole space. The Winnebago Revel's closet comes, third in front of the window, and then they have a 2-person. Anyways, there's nowhere to be in those things, especially the closet really takes over closing the space off. The solution, we've always done rear showers off the back doors. And they work fine. You have to open the back doors, and it's like a whole project just to get the shower set up. So I keep trying to innovate for solutions like that. And what I came up with for the shower deal is this, having the sink right by the door. It's a sink, obviously, but it's right by the door, swings out. I can stand right there and shower. I don't have to do anything to set it up either. It's just ready to, I can use the controls right there without moving into the van. And also the extension brings it right down. It can clean off the bike or clean off a muddy dog. Always trying to, I don't know if other people, I didn't get that from anyone else. Maybe other people do this too, but I just come up with ideas of how we're going to solve, some of these things. And, in other situations, like with the heater, for instance, we upgraded to the bigger heater. That's the large unit. They usually recommend that for the extended. And you know, the smaller unit just has to work all the time when it really is really cold. I mean, like negative temperatures, like those small heaters are working constantly on full to make it warm in here. Well, you upgraded to that bigger unit, and it keeps up just fine. So just whatever works best is my thing. You know, I want a big fridge. It's important to me. So there's 4 cubic feet there, 4 cubic foot fridge. You know, we don't have the bathroom, but we have a cassette toilet for when it's needed, and stows away, and extend the countertops. You can actually get a lot done on these countertops, because like, it doesn't look like much at first, but that extension, and then you can pull this over, and you actually can have a lot of surface area. And I don't cut we cook with induction. I don't cut them into the countertop, because you know, I like them to stow away. So look, these induction cooktops, they take over the whole counter. So if it is cut in, you know, that's kind of, it's more versatile to just have it be a countertop for cooking when you need it for that, but then, you know, whatever else you might need to expand. But there's plenty of cabinetry. There's, you know, the utensils and the plates and pots and pans, and I was putting pants up there, big open one. There's open cabinets too, and these work fine. There's like, I'll put little things, don't fly around, they're level, and there's a big lip, so I'll put cups and plate and canned goods maybe here, and then in these big closets, bags of chips and boxes of cereal and all that. There's 2 huge ones, and that big one back there can have giant oversized things even sticking out of it a little bit. This van's very versatile, very fun. So where are you going to take it? I could go on and on, but I just want to do an overview and not go too long. We could jump on a video call and talk about all the questions, and expound on, you know, talk about the battery system, talk about the heater and water or whatever it is, and point the camera at everything. So, you know, picture where you're going to take it, what's your view going to look like, and yeah, let's jump on a call together. So if you're interested, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching this. Have fun.